Craig, how are you going? We got Craig. We're back.
How are you? Oh,
beautiful.
What happened?
I have no idea. It's one of those small technical glitches when you're sitting here at the other end here, after a long day and everything, you're the producer and you're the host and everything. But Craig, we've got it sorted. I can see you. You're beautiful. You got all your guitars there and you got your hat on, just like myself today.
I've got the hat on today because I've got the COVID cut, which is about 8 weeks old, and it's going everywhere. I thought, I can't look like that. So I'll just look like Steph with the hat and the headphones. There you go.
Yeah, that's it. That's it, man.
I've also put a little pot plant here just to make it look nice and homely,
Oh,
stole
beautiful.
that from the bathroom.
I love it. I love it. Craig, how have you been? It's been a couple of weeks.
Good, mate. Yeah, thanks for having me back on, buddy. That's nice to be back, because last time you were giving me a bit of abuse because when's the release date and all this kind of stuff.
But that's because you kept promising.
I on the 30th, but we got it a little bit later. So yeah. Anyway.
Well, you gotta wait for all things, all great things, and this, I must say again, I think I've said this before in between our chat last time and up until now, but that new album, mate, that is fantastic. That is, I'm happy. I'm happy you waited because it is sensational, man.
Well, thank you very much, mate. Thanks. It did take quite a bit of time, but I read a few times along the way that if you rush things, it's probably not what you want in the end, and I must admit, it was better just to hold off and then be happy with it, I think. So, yeah.
Absolutely.
Thanks very much. Yeah, I'm glad you like it. Yeah.
So actually, so how long did it take? Say from start to finish. I know some of the songs have been floating around for several years. But from when you sort of decided that you were going to start recording an album, I think when we were on last time, you mentioned it was on New Year's Eve or something.
Yeah, that's right. It's I did a gig, and at that moment, it was just like, right, New Year's resolution, let's just do it. And I thought I could do it a lot quicker because, like you say, some of the songs had been written, not all of them, but some of them had been sort of, and some of them I had to finish, and some of them are almost from scratch. But it took a bit longer, and I think all up it ended up taking, well, what's that? So it was like maybe about 16 and a half months, something like that.
That's all right.
To fully get it done. So, yeah, not too bad, I guess.
I think the new Tool album took like 13 years or something.
Oh, really?
Yes.
So I think about some of the old 70s stuff that was like, used to take years, but.
Yeah, but I think the most admirable part about this is that you pretty much done all of it. Like, you obviously written all the songs over the last five or so years. But then again, you had to find time in between work and stuff to record at least the sketches. And then you outsourced some of it, like you got other musicians in. And last time you were talking about how you found this crazy Swedish producer and all that stuff. But how the hell did you find all that time to get everything sorted?
Well, the first 4 months, I was holding down a day job. So from January to April last year, I had a day job looking after the kids because I have the kids quite a lot. And, just doing the things like doing gigs and stuff. But, after that, I made a decision to quit the day job for a little bit, which financially was a bit of a disaster. But I was lucky enough to get some gigs at the weekend to cover it. So it kind of freed up my weeks. So during the week, I would I'd sit here, I'd give myself maybe 2 or 3 days during the week to fully focus on writing and recording and stuff like that. And it wasn't like I had to balance a job and stuff, and it wasn't that full on, if you know what I mean. So I was quite lucky. But
because again, I think one of the things that I'm most impressed about is how your time management would have worked out. So how did you go about that? Like, did you actually write a schedule, a daily or weekly schedule up for what am I going to achieve today? What am I doing tomorrow?
I tried to do that, but it didn't work. It was like, okay, I'm going to do this song today, that song today, then I'm going to do this, but it actually didn't work. So because I found that you were trying to get the songs finished to a schedule, and it doesn't work that way, you know. So I ended up, in fact, one of the first songs I started ended up being the last one I finished. So it was like, you know what I mean? It was like, and then I would just go, right, nah, I can't keep with that one at the moment. It's not going anywhere. So I'd go to some other one, and you know, that's kind of how it went. So yeah, I tried to schedule it, but it didn't work, you know.
But Craig, it's all done now. It's done. The gates are closed.
That's a private little joke between you and me, mate.
Yeah, that's good. Craig, look, as I said before, magnificent album. I would love to do, one of the main reasons why I would love to get you back today is for people out there who don't know 46 Brigade to try and get an insight of Craig Ballantyne's songwriting and actually run through the album, because I know it's been a little bit of a personal journey, especially some of the songs have, you know, have a special place in your heart. So last time I remember we touched base on a few of the songs, but if you don't mind, should we try and run it from chronologically and find out how this whole Into the Great Unknown came about and sort of the like, tell us a little bit about what the actual songs are about. So the first song.
Sure. That sounds like, I mean, I guess the overview, before we go any further, I honestly, I can't take credit for this whole album without the guys that helped. I mean, because with Thomas, you know, mixing it and in Sweden, and Duncan playing bass, Sam on drums, you know, it's okay to come up with the demos and put your drum patterns and your bass line and all the rest of it, but you know, you need that. I felt I needed that sort of network, and even Matt. You know, I went around to Matt, who was in the band with you and me the last time we did the album.
Yep.
You know, he would help record vocals, and I think this was one line in one of the songs where he does a really high note, and I thought I couldn't get to it, so Matt's on there. You know what I mean? So, yeah, straight up, I'd just like to thank the guys for that. And the way it's working out now is we're sort of forming a nice little nucleus of people that can hopefully help us go out and play it live. So that would be a dream come true, you know. I'd love that. So
good stuff.
But anyway,
good stuff.
Yeah, but like yeah, your question was about the so I guess there's a theme in the album, and it's so this one is a really the last album we had a whole lot of different songs, if you like, about different things. This one is pretty much a very personal album about the last 6 years or so of my life, you know. And without going into too much depth, I guess, you know, I split up from my ex-partner, from a partner, so she's now my ex-partner. And, you know, I had young kids, and I didn't see it coming in a lot of ways. And then some ways I should have seen it coming. You know, it was one of these kind of things. And so the album's got a bit of a flow from right back. It starts off with a song which was written way back when, you know, and I kind of got an inkling that there was something wrong in the relationship. And then you go through all the kind of emotions that have happened throughout the last 6.5 years until this point where I've kind of realized that, you know, you've got to move on. And that's why I called it Into the Great Unknown, because from this point on, I think it's time just to let it all go and I guess move into the great unknown, if you know what I mean. So yeah, that's the whole thing. That's the whole theme. So, and yeah, so that was that. It started off with, I guess the first song was a song called Sorry, which is, I guess, a bit of an apology in some ways.
Yeah, it's a very, very powerful song. Like I remember when I was listening to it the first time, like you get goosebumps, because again, it tells such a personal story. Yeah. Well,
it started. Are you you're interested in hearing the stories of each song? Is that the kind of vibe that you want to take this?
Yeah, just because obviously, like I remember when I was going through the album, when I listened to it a couple of weeks ago when you first released it. It's such a good, heartfelt, personal story that it's just like this. Put it this way. it needs to get out there. It needs to be played to more people. And a really good way for people to connect to the songs about is to actually know a little bit about the story, because then, they get to like you, they get to like the stories of the songs before they've actually heard them. I think that it doesn't, you obviously don't need to go into details, but it's a really nice way for people to connect to the songs.
Okay. Oh, so the first song, as I say, is a song called "Sorry," and that was written. Well, the idea came to me when we were camping. I used to do a lot of camping with my family and my kids and my ex-partner. And one night when we were away camping, I realized that things weren't probably as good as they should have been. Things like you kind of realize that, she might want to sleep with my daughter that night instead of sleeping in the tent with me, and that'd be with the kids. And I thought, and then we sat out a couple of times at night, and we'd have a few drinks at the, sitting out while the kids are in bed in the tent and stuff. And we'd have a good few laughs, but something just wasn't quite the way it was when we first met. And then I started to think about it, and we ended up, when we got home, we sort of ended up going to, I kind of asked, what's wrong, and nothing really came out of it as such, but realized we had to go and do some counseling. So we went and saw some marriage guidance counselors, if you like. And so that's kind of, I guess, where the song was heading. We were trying to get some help. And also at the same time, I started to realize a lot of the things that I'd kind of taken for granted. I think back in that day, we were doing the first album, and I was out in my little studio at night, got to get in, look at this song and blah, blah, blah. And so my poor ex was holding the fort. She's looking after the kids and doing the cooking and stuff for that. And I'm just thinking, oh, this is sweet. I can still go. And I realized that, I was probably taking a bit too much and not giving enough. So that's why it was called "Sorry." It was a bit of an apology for spending all that time when I should have been probably focusing on her and the young family type thing. So that was.
It's. I suppose it's at the same time. It's probably also one of those things where it was an album that just had to be done, I reckon, because again, it was such a big journey for you to actually create all the songs for the first album. But I could completely relate to what you're saying in regards to sort of taking stuff for granted.
Yeah. I think it's just, but these are things that you learn in hindsight. It
is. Yeah. I
mean, one thing that, I don't know if there's any people listening tonight, and I mean, everyone through it, not everyone. Some people have managed to keep a nice, happy relationship to the day they die, but a lot of people split up. A lot of people have families and separations. So, I'm not the only one, but something in these songs might touch people who are in a similar part of the journey at some time. You know what I mean? So, and I think if I could go back and realize what I realize now, I probably should have spent a little bit less time doing my own stuff and being a bit more focused. So that was the apology out the way. I'm very sorry about what happened, and so.
Again, fantastic song, and again, it's like the whole sort of atmosphere of the song really underlines that message. And you're spot on in regards to people connecting. I think that's one of the powerful things about music as well.
Yeah. So, but if there's any lesson to come out of it, it's just maybe I'll do things a little bit differently, spend a bit more time and. Make things, because behind the scenes sometimes you don't realize that things are going wrong, and that's actually kind of what led into the second song on the album, which was
Don't Run Away.
Don't Run Away.
Yeah.
and so that was a kind of it blends into that one nicely, because I hope everybody's not going to get too depressed listening to these stories, but it's
no, it's important. It's good.
Yeah, well, So Don't Run Away was basically, again, like a bit of a plead, like, and at that time, I think what happens is, when someone that wants to leave a relationship decides that they've had enough, it's very difficult to get it back. If they've actually made their mind up and they go, I don't think it makes too much difference how much you plead and ask people to stay. I think if the thing's done, it's done. But the other thing about that song, whereas Don't Run Away, I mean, there's in the chorus, it's basically what it means is well, the way I wrote it anyway was listening to other people who can influence your decision. I'm trying to keep things in my mind the way they were, because we used to do a lot of, like I say, adventuring, and but I kept the first verse about higher than the mountains, higher than sea type thing. It's all about almost looking down on this relationship that's fallen apart, and there's nothing you can do about it. It's just spiraling out of control. So I was given that analogy of, I guess, a skydiver or something that's floating down and is just out of control, trying to save something, and then this begging question, don't run away, don't stand up, take control type thing, was meant to basically try not listen to some of the people who are maybe close friends, family, that were trying to say, you know what, he's not right for you, just move on and you'll find someone better. You know what I mean? Because a lot of that goes on behind the things that you don't even know, So
yeah.
So anyway, that was what Don't Run Away was about.
Now again, that's another powerful song, and wicked chorus. I love the chorus, a bit more upbeat.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Saw that one. Yeah. So
let me also just quickly say to people watching, we do apologize for the poor image quality. That again, we had a little bit of trial and error earlier when we were trying to set it all up. But the most important thing is Craig has probably the best audio out of everybody I've had on the show. So the audio is fantastic. Yeah, no, it's just as I said when we did the test earlier, it's just a bit grainy, but luckily the audio is pretty good.
Okay, cool.
So we move on to Grey Clouds. What? Yep. Is that a song about the coronavirus or?
No. Okay. That's the beautiful thing. I mean, every song, it doesn't matter what the actual song's about. I mean, everyone they can read into whatever they like. That's the beauty of music, isn't it? I reckon. It's but yeah, no, well, Grey Clouds was, at that point, I was just trying to deal with, I went and saw a lot of, people that I thought could help psychologically, doctors, because things were kind of going downhill and there was a bit of depression going on. There was a whole lot of sort of stuff that I didn't really know how to handle. And from both sides, it just wasn't kind of working. And so that song's just about trying to stay the course. It's like, just, we'll get through this. We'll I'm not going anywhere. I'm staying right here. And and hopefully the grey clouds will disappear and we'll, everything will be right with our little family type thing. So in a nutshell, that's kind of what that one was about. Just trying to help. Because, when you, people give you advice on how to try and help people. And I've had people help me at certain times, the days when you've been pretty down and pretty dark. And, they say, like, get out and have exercise, eat the right foods. So you try and do all these things. And I don't know, sometimes you can come out of it, sometimes you don't. And yeah, so, but anyway, that was a kind of a song to try and stay positive and let's get through this type thing. And whatever it takes, we'll be here type thing. So
yeah, it's got a very sort of positive feel to like the overall atmosphere of the song. Like it feels like a very happy song.
Yeah. So that's kind of that one, Steph.
And then you got your favorite song on the album.
Well,
Roll on Monday.
It is my favorite song, but because it's for a few reasons actually. Because number one, because my daughter sings on it, which is really nice. And also just because it's that song out of the whole album is probably the most personal one, because so I guess moving on from Grey Clouds, things didn't work and my partner left, and I ended up moving up to live with my mum and her partner for a while. And so, when I moved up there to live, I was quite funny, actually. Part of me I was completely heartbroken, because at that time I was, I didn't see the kids all that much. Luckily now I see them a lot, but back then, right at the beginning, it was pretty tough. And so I'm living with my mum, and it just so happened that I had a spare bedroom, and there was this old couple just living across the fence every single night. Man, effing this, you, yeah. They were like, just like, it was full on arguments every night. And I'm trying to get to sleep, and all this stuff's going on in my mind, and I just want to see my kids. And it's like, I'm thinking I'm living with my mum and her partner, and I'm putting them out, and oh man, why did it have to come to this? So and then like I say, back in the early days, so I would see the kids, like once every fortnight type thing, and on that time when I got to see them, it was just like, right, we're going to do everything. We're going to go to the beach. We're going to do this. We're going to do that, and just try and cram as much attention and time with them as you could. And but then there's a part you've heard the song obviously, and there's a part at the end when the piano kind of breaks down. And for me, that was the hardest part to do, because that's when you've been having all this fun with the kids. You see them on the Monday, and then Monday's gone, and you have to, I guess, say goodbye again for another couple of weeks. And so that's why it's like, and that was hard to write, actually. That was hard to sing it, actually, hard to record, because a lot of the times I was kind of choking up when I'm thinking of the lyrics as I was singing it, and because it's just a solo piano at that point, it's got a bit of emotion behind it. So, so anyway, that was it. But as I was recording that one, my daughter come in, and I said to her, Leah, I can't. Like, I think I said this in the last show. I couldn't find a harmony, and she picked a harmony straight away, and she sang on it, and so that gave it even more meaning. Like my daughter's actually singing on the same song that was written about the days when she was growing up. So, that was my favorite song, I guess.
Yeah, and it's great song, and yes, especially the chorus, because obviously I picked up on it because you said it last time that your daughter was singing on it. So even before I heard the song, I was expecting this magical chorus, and it did not disappoint. It's beautiful. She's got a killer voice too, man.
Yeah, I really do hope she's honestly, Steph, just keeps writing and writing, and some of the latest stuff that she's been coming up with, I so much hope that we can get more music of hers recorded this year. But she's actually injured herself at the moment. She's got a bit of a knee injury, so she's just trying to get that right. She dislocated her kneecap at sports.
Oh wow!
Not too good, but we'll get through. So,
hopefully, how
are your kids going anyway? Sorry to change the subject.
Yeah, absolutely. Same. Just plowing through. They're back in school and all that. So
you probably relate to these songs because you're a family man too, mate. That's
100%. But I think a lot of people would relate to them on many levels.
Yeah, I think just to touch on Roll On Monday again. Even if you weren't separated, even if you weren't split up from your partner, if you were just someone who, whether a guy, a girl, anyone that's like maybe working FIFO or is away on business or something for a long period of time, they're just dying to get back to see the family, it'd relate to people, I think, on that level as well. So, yeah. Anyway, so that was the story of that one.
And then we have my favorite before the album came out, anyway, "Free Me," which I think you did touch base on that last time. That's a good song for going camping.
Well, it's just one. Well, you see, I moved on from the obviously I was at my mum's for a while, and then eventually, my ex decided she wanted to move to a different place, and so she moved out of the house to get another place, and I came back, and so at that time I just decided to, I guess, do a lot of traveling. I don't mean traveling as in going away on holidays and stuff. It was just every night that I would feel the urge to jump in the car and go for a big long drive somewhere. Even sometimes I would take my little tent with me and just pitch it and stay over somewhere, at some campsite. But I love that. I love that sort of lifestyle. And so that was, for me, was just about getting away from the rat race, really, and also people telling you what you should and shouldn't do, and just going, you don't need that. You can be free. You can, just move on. But, we touched on last time, but that's it's just but I like it's a good driving song. I think it's got quite a nice riff, beat to it as well. That one, it's kind of bops along.
It's just a song. It's just a song that just makes you happy, I reckon. Like, it's got that really positive atmosphere, positive vibe to it. Happy chords, and the whole, like, the chord progression. Yeah, it's a great song. And the only one with what's that?
I was going to say I don't actually know too many chords. That's why most of them seem to rotate around the same 4 or 5 chords.
Well, this, if it's not broken, don't fix it. So,
well, some people, that's true. Well, so we've sold 17 albums so far, Steph.
17.
17. We're getting there, but we haven't really. It's not on Spotify yet, so I'd like to hopefully.
We got actually just what we got you here. I think I've set it up a little thing here so people can go in and subscribe to your YouTube. We want to try and get people to actually subscribe to the guests that are on the show. So just on that note, when we're talking about albums and stuff, if everybody, not necessarily now, but if they can go in here and just click. So here we've got the 46 Brigade. I have deliberately unsubscribed just so I can just show people here. So you go over here, you log in, and there's a little subscribe button here. So you click that, bang, subscribed, and then you click here, the little bell, ding. And then it says here, all. And that means every time Craig has posted a few videos here now. So he's got some of the old stuff I can see. But I'm sure with everything that he has going on at the moment, there will be a lot of new stuff coming on very, very soon. But we want everybody who is watching this, whenever they get to this, stop what you're doing when you're on the restream, of course, and go in and subscribe, because that helps.
Yeah,
Craig.
That would be cool.
That helped Craig and the boys out.
Yeah, and actually talking about that, I was up at Sam the drummers, and Duncan was there the other night, and we started to film a little clip, a studio clip for the song that you played at the beginning of the show here.
Fantastic.
Pictures of Better Days. Which I think is the next one anyway, isn't it? Is that the one you're just going to talk about?
That is the Pictures of Better Days. Wicked song. That is, again, upbeat, lovely rock song.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
What's that one about?
Again, well, I feel like...
Tell me, Craig.
Every song is just about the same old thing, the same old subject. But, no, it's like... I don't know exactly... Can I just sort of just go around about this for a little bit? Because I don't know if everyone's like me, but obviously in terms of when I was younger, and used to have relationships and stuff like that. If a girl ditches you, or you ditch a girl or something like that, you're heartbroken for a few weeks, then you find someone else and everything's rosy and stuff. But for some reason, when you think you've found the actual one, and your kids come along, it is 10 times harder, and some people can deal with it, but I just couldn't. I was like sort of trying to hang on. So this Pictures of Better Days was basically, just thinking back to what went wrong. Why did it all go wrong and stuff? And like even back to the early days when we first met, I'd be playing a little band down Scarborough quite a lot, and my ex lived in Scarborough at the time, and so we just, you go down there and you walk in and be coffee and toasted sandwiches or whatever, and watch a movie, and huge stuff. And it was great. And then we go and drink on the beach and have a great time, So that's just about memories, particularly about the Scarborough area. That's why West Coast Highway is mentioned in the song as well.
Yeah, I noticed that.
So a little plug for the old Scarborough West Coast Highway.
Little shout out.
Well, shout out to the boys in Scarborough. Old Stanford Arms, they were good days of Stanford Arms back in the days, So, have you ever been up to Stanford? Have you played there, Steph? Have you played?
Nah.
Gigs at all? No?
Nope.
That was probably
another one.
Ago. Yeah, I don't even think it's there anymore. I think it's something else now. So.
It probably won't be after all this Corona stuff clears. There's going to be a whole different set of venues around.
I don't know how it's going to work, actually.
Well, you'll find out hopefully soon. It looks like everything is. Yeah, it looks like everything is.
Hope so.
Is coming up. And then it looks like we got a bit of a funny song, Scrolling the Feet. I think I remember that one from back in the day. That's been around for a while, that song.
Yeah, a long time, that one. But I hadn't actually done a proper recording of it as such, so I thought, let's just put something in here and do that. But that's just kind of run-of-the-mill song about using social media and stuff. So it's but it is quite catchy, though. It's got quite a catchy chorus, and a lot of people have said that some people have said it's their favorite because of, I guess that kind of, it's a bit tongue in cheek about, people using the internet. And, but then again, I'm hooked on it as well. Everyone seems to be, but it kind of came about with, I was walking around down in Frio one day, the markets down there, and there's a lot of buskers and stuff playing, and what I noticed was I'm sitting there watching these buskers, and there were so many people. These guys were brilliant. I mean, they're like the things they were doing on the street, and some people were giving some money and stuff, but most people were just trying to take selfies and with the buskers in the background, or they were looking at their phones and they were scrolling. And the poor old buskers putting this, everything into these things and going. And people just kind of, take a photograph, mate. Yeah, great, mate. And then they just walk on. And they're all just kind of scrolling, and then I started thinking, this is where it's heading now. We're all going to be doing that, and so that's kind of what the song was about, But it is, you can't do without it, though, can you? I mean, can you do without a mobile phone? Or
no. It's honestly like if you leave your home without it, it feels like I've sort of like an extension of your body is missing. That's like right. you feel like you've forgotten a limb or something. It's
exactly.
Yeah, it's disgraceful.
It's just the way
It is. It's like I think Elon Musk actually calls it like he actually says that humans have become bionic. We just haven't got the phone sort of as a permanent part of our bodies. And it's very true because everybody has a smartphone and everybody is, I actually get really annoyed every time I get that little report saying your screen time is up or your screen time is X amount of hours per day. I don't know if you have it on because I think you have an Android. So I've got an iPhone, and every now and then it would tell you your screen time is down to 4.5 hours per day. Then you think about what?
Jeez.
4.5 or 5 hours or something, and it's like that's a lot of hours in the day.
Yeah. Where do you think it's going to head? I mean, in the next 20 years, what's going to be happening? I reckon. I don't know. I mean, scary. I think in some ways it's scary.
I think actually, to be honest, I think sort of like all this post-COVID, I think you'll see a lot more live streaming. I think you'll see a lot more concerts online, like those high-end productions where everybody can sort of tune in. Yeah. So I think even if you go to a normal concert, this is my own personal thoughts, but I think if you actually go to a concert, I think you'll see more and more bands having that as a side live stream as well. So people at home can log in and tune in. Yeah. Because if you think about it, it makes sense. You're there anyway. It's more content for you to stream, and it's potentially more revenue.
Yeah.
That you can create, and you can probably, because I think this will no doubt happen to begin with. I think they're going to cap the amount of people that can actually come to, especially the bigger shows.
Yeah.
Could you imagine?
Do
Do
you reckon they will? Do you reckon? I suppose they.
I don't think until either they have a cure or until it's completely eradicated, which we don't know if it ever will. But you can't put 50,000 people into Optus Stadium.
Well, yeah, but all right. So I watched that Powderfinger concert the other night there, and I reckon that was awesome. I loved it, and I loved the way it was kind of put together. But that got me thinking, if there was people doing that and they had no sponsors or whatever, how do you make money off that? I mean, because they'd be used to going out and selling tickets at $120 or something.
Yeah.
And filling 20,000 people or whatever at a stadium. That's a lot of money. How do you get that out of a live stream?
But see, but I reckon if you are a fan, so like imagine if you had. Powderfinger would probably have, tens of thousands of diehard fans out there. If they just asked for $1, $2, $5 for people to log in, to be able to see that stream, as opposed to you having to get dressed up, finding babysitters, jump in the car, drive to the gig, pay for parking, pay $100 for a concert ticket. All of a sudden here, you can sit at home. You can even log in and you've paid your entry ticket, and if you miss the first couple of songs because your youngest kid wouldn't go to bed, you can start the concert at your leisure.
But as a muso and as a punter in the crowd,
I know
the energy. Yep. I mean, how do you go? You're up there playing your drums and you're getting right into it. You can't. It's not.
You can't.
Audience there.
You can't.
Just can't.
But I think. Personally, I think that might be one of the sort of byproducts that you're going to see coming out of this, especially because this is an industry that has so many people, especially, if you make it, if you are one of the top acts, every time you have sold out shows, I think that would be the byproduct of it.
Yeah, no, that's probably right, mate. Oh, well, we'll see. We'll live and learn. We'll see what happens.
Yeah. Well, maybe let's try and skip the last ones here, because I'm also really curious to see sort of where you're going to take this. Is there any marketing plan in place? What's going to happen sort of moving forward now? Because now the album is done. It's there. We gotta push it out. We gotta get some more people to hear it.
Yeah.
So you're currently updating. You're updating the YouTube channel. We just subscribe there, and everybody else after you're going to have 1 million subscribers by the time we're done here.
Well, that'd be nice, but the marketing thing, mate. That is even more difficult than the recording, I reckon. Where do you start? You've got to try and, at least with the recording, you've kind of got I know that I've just got to write these songs, I've got to record them, I've got to get them mixed, and then we can put the album out. But when the album's out, you've got, I'll put it on Bandcamp first, and I'll try and sell a few copies, but then everyone's probably going to want it on Spotify, so you put it up there, and then there's all these millions of other sites that they recommend that you put it on. And I mean, I've probably got no idea as to where to go with a lot of this. I'm kind of flying by the seat of my pants and just going, all right, this one looks pretty good. These guys can get it on Spotify for us. And if I contact this guy, he might do a bit of a review, and then I could put that together and get a press kit. And then maybe we can get on a festival when festivals come back. It's like, but all the time, it's just like day after day after day after day of just trying to get something in this huge world that you don't know if anyone's actually listening or if anyone's even interested, I mean, how do you, I mean, I hate to keep putting it back to you, but you're doing a similar thing with the show at the moment. And if you want to do it as a full-time career at some point, then how do you make money out of it,
Well, there's obviously...
So I was just going to say...
Yeah. Well, again, I suppose, the main thing is you just got to keep putting stuff out. You have the album now. Yeah. So I think everything you guys are doing now, if you're going to start recording content, music videos, like same as what we were doing earlier, like small anecdotes about the songs, pretty much anything that sort of gives the viewers, gives the fans a little bit of insight and some stories like behind the scenes, behind the music. All of that stuff is crucial. But the main thing is just, that you just don't stop. I think that is the main thing. In regards to my show, well, I was about to say that's pretty much what I'm doing. I've come to this point where I just really enjoy like rehearsing. I enjoy talking to people, and I've spoken to quite a few over the last 6 weeks, and it's so encouraging, so inspiring to hear all these stories from different people. But again, but how are you going to make money on that? So, well, you're not yet. The only way you can start making money eventually, without having to obviously ask people for money, which you try to avoid, is simply by growing everything up to a point where you can either get sponsors, you can use affiliate links. So again, if you do a specific a specific partnership with someone where you can post links, so if people click here, they can purchase some of some stuff, either whether it's your album or whether it's your merchandise. But from my point of view, it could also be, I could post your links, for instance, and if people click on that link and they buy your t-shirt, I get 50 cents or something like that. Yeah. So again, it's all about collaborating. At the end of the day, this industry, for you, I reckon, for you to make it as an upcoming musician or as an entrepreneur, if you want to use a fancy word, it is, you just got to stick together. Like you just have to unite. So again, but again, it's a long process. Same as any other, pretty much the same as learning to play. It takes years. Yeah. And again, look, at the end of the day, music is a shit industry if you're in it for the money.
Well, look, I mean, just recently, I had to take all the previous film clips that we had off TuneCore because I didn't realize that the last album I signed up to a deal with one of these distributors that I didn't really know much about. And one day I was registering a new song with APRA, which is a Performing Rights Association. And I looked in there and, at the end of the way they've got it set up, when you go into the computer, it tells you, who wrote the song, if there was one songwriter, 2, 3, 4 songwriters, whatever. And then right at the end, it said 50% royalty or 50% share of the song is going to this New Zealand publisher. And I was like, what? Who's this? I didn't even know who the person was.
No way.
I looked, and every single song on the album, 50%. I mean, welcome to 50% of $40. That's fine, because that's all I made out of it in 7 years, But they can have the $20. But what was really annoying was just like I didn't even realize this was happening, But it's like, all right, we'll sign you up. You don't read the fine print of these deals, and all of a sudden, okay, we'll track all your songs where they are around the world, blah, 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 and we'll report it to the royalty people or whatever. They don't tell you that there's a sub-publisher somewhere else. Every time it's tracked, that they're getting 50% of it. So it was like, I don't know. So eventually I thought, man, there's got to be something you can do. You can actually make something from your hard work, So I took all this stuff off and I got the deal fixed. But so that's why, like, every video at the moment's got like about 7 or 8 views or something. So it'd be nice if people could go and watch a couple just to get the views up again, because that's important too. But,
So again, but again,
it's a
consistency. It is, and it's just shocking that it has to be like, especially as a musician playing originals. It just sucks that it has to be such a steep road, because like you've invested almost a year and a half just to actually create the album. Before that, you have all the hours or years of coming up with the songs and the pain and heartache, the joy, the memories, all of that is sort of get funneled into this album, that you've probably spent, thousands of dollars getting it recorded and mixed as well. And then you put it out and you see, and you said to begin with, you've sold 17 albums.
Yep. But that's all, man. Look, you know what? At the end of the day, Steph, much as though you'd love to make more money out of it, I'm just happy that I got it finished.
Yeah,
it was something that needed in me personally. Like now that it's done, all right, you might not have a hell of a bank account, but from this point on, I can say I did it. Now I can go and get a job or something different. You know what I mean? So, just the fulfillment of actually finishing it was more than I would do that all again just to be able to say, right, that's it. Okay, I'm happy with it now. We can move on.
Yeah.
So,
well, I suppose you need a job because you need to pay off, the cost to actually record it.
Well, it's funny, like I got a job, in the air conditioning business, and I loved that job, but it was just there's something in me that had to go back and finish this album, and maybe I can get back to do some of that work sometime soon. I don't know, but yeah, there'll be something. I don't know. We'll just play it by ear. Got any jobs at your place? Maybe you need a reporter. Once the shows take off, you need a reporter. I be up there in the right hand corner, and we'll just take it over to Craig. He's there in Copenhagen.
We need a PA, yeah, or Glasgow. We can.
Yeah, maybe.
But Craig, how do we get you on to playing the festivals? And because I think you mentioned last time that was on your bucket list.
Well, that would be, I would love to do this. One thing I've never done, never, ever, ever played at a festival in my whole life, and I would love to. So, if I could make it happen, be great. If there's anyone out there that's a promoter, would take a chance on the band, please get in touch. But yeah.
Well, I suppose again, like one of the, well, it actually now become one of the main reasons why I've kept the show. The reason why I want to grow the show is because you can hopefully in time you can connect dots, like you can connect musicians, you can build this community. For instance, like I'm just going to name drop someone I had on the show here about a week and a half ago. There's Mitch from the Communicators, which is a British ska band.
Yeah.
I don't know if you watched the episode. Otherwise, you have to go back and watch it because he talks about how they were playing, like big festivals, playing in front of 10,000 people. When the band was at the peak about 6-7 years ago, they went on hiatus and stuff. But that's a whole different story that he gets into on the show. But he would be someone that would probably be very interesting for you to reach out to because he's in the UK where there's lots of festivals. And he has been there. You know what I mean? So he would have the experience and hopefully have contacts that you might be able to share and vice versa. You might be able to help him out in Perth because the Perth of the Australian music scene.
Yeah, that's true.
So again, so that's again what I said before, like collaborating, where everybody wins because you have to do it for goodwill because you love the art. That's right.
And there's a lot of great people out there, and I think most people want to support other artists and help each other along the way. So maybe could you have his number? Can you put me in touch with him later on? Then,
for sure. Yeah, I can start a little.
I'm not saying I'd be able to sort of. No one can jump on a plane tomorrow and go and do it anyway. And who knows what festivals are going to even be like in the future.
Oh yeah, that's a whole different conversation.
Might be driving in with our cars, like drive-in theaters and stuff.
Well, you can play a massive festival from your webcam at home.
Well, you probably reach a lot more people too, don't you?
Well, that's again the beauty of the internet. You have. The world is your oyster. I know it sounds cheesy, but you have everybody potentially be able to tune in or watch this. Like, you never know. Like everybody would be able to come in and watch this little chat that we've had here, as soon as we're done. And that's the same about the album.
No, that's true, mate.
But what about the boys? The other two you mentioned, you had Sam and Duncan. What are they?
Yeah,
Are they?
this time around, so
Are they going to play some festivals? Is that like a mutual goal?
You know, I would just love to get out and play some of the songs from this album live, and obviously because these guys, you know, they've been such an integral part of it, and I would love if they would come on and, you know, play some more and do some more shows. But like I said before, I kind of would love the idea of the Brigade thing to be a whole thing, you know. And I've said it again. I've said it before, and I'll say it again. Yourself, Matt, guys that may be interested in, you know, even just coming on board to do a few shows here and there, if they like the music or they want to learn it up or whatever. I would love something. I would love it to be like not really a band as such, but more a project that, you know, I don't know if does that work though in this day and age, or but you know, like for instance, a lot of the songs on this album are a little bit Springsteen influenced, Bruce Springsteen. But I think about Bruce Springsteen, and I've seen him play with lots of different musos in his band. You know, it's probably the nucleus, but there has been changes as they go type thing, and do different festivals, and they bring people in. So yeah, maybe there's a chance to do that. I don't know. I'd like to think so. Yeah, Sam and Duncan, if they would do it with us, that would be great. And we add a keyboard player, another guitarist, maybe, you know, whatever.
But I suppose, but I suppose still at the end of the day, like you still have to be, like you still need to push out the content. You still need to be like a team.
Yeah.
But I suppose, like exactly like you said, like Bruce Springsteen and a lot of other solo artists obviously have backing musicians. So it's just a matter of, again, of how you're gonna put that constellation together moving forward. But the most important thing, like I said, you just gotta just keep pushing the content. And finding time to do that. How are you going to go about that? You're good at time management. We know that.
Time is look, I don't know. Yeah, I think time's a bit more because, you know that I actually haven't got since the breakup in my relationship, I've never found another partner or anything. I haven't really gone down that path. And so I'm quite happy just sort of like being a single dad and spending time as much as I can with the kids. They're getting to that age now where they're probably doing their own thing. So I think over the next couple of years, I'll have a lot more time to do things. So for me personally, I'd probably be able to do a lot if I've still got the energy and the desire to do it. But yeah, hopefully, the time will be there to do it. I think. In fact, I mentioned last time, but I would really love to help my daughter though with her stuff, like we said previously. So maybe that's something
that might be another avenue to get to play festivals. It might be as a backing guitarist for Leah Ballantyne.
Oh man, she'd bloody love that. And she would rub it in every day, you know, like, hey Dad, you know, you've always wanted to be a festival guy. I did my first at 15 years old. While you were carrying the water bottles backstage, you know, yeah, okay.
But at least a festival is a festival, right?
How many festivals have you done? You've done a few, haven't you?
Yeah,
quite a few.
It's obviously quite a few moons ago, but I played a few. Yeah, so yeah. Again, it all comes down to the size of the crowd. But I think the biggest one we did was we co-headlined the second largest stage at one of the festivals in Denmark. Probably, I don't know, 6,000, 7,000, 8,000 people or something. But that was awesome. You know, 10 o'clock at night. It was dark outside. Yeah, good memories.
That's awesome, mate.
Good memories for sure.
You know, that's the other little thing. It's funny. Every time when I was recording, there's a song on the album we didn't touch on. Actually, it was "Devil with a Silver Tongue."
Oh yeah. That's a great song too.
That song, at the end of that, it's kind of pretty much rocking out and stuff like that. And every time I play that song, I always at the end just imagine, you know, like you're up there, there's 20,000 people when you hit that last chord, and it's like thank you, Johannesburg. Good night, and I have that dream, maybe one day, thank you. And so if we ever did get to be to play a festival, that song would have to be the very last song, so we could do that. We could, and then you could, if you were playing it at the time, you could throw your drumsticks in the audience, and it would be awesome, wouldn't it?
That's look, it's
you got it again,
You definitely got to have those dreams, and I think for any musicians, having those, like a big festival gig would be like the ultimate dream.
That'd be great, mate. But anyway, time's ticking on. We'll see what happens.
But mate, look, if there's anything I can do to help, like I said, I'd love to help you connect to some of the other guests that I know I've had on that might be able to help you out. And again, because it's one of those things, it doesn't cost anything to ask. It costs a lot of money to record an album.
but the other thing is, like, I'll be honest, even if nothing happened, it'd be sad, but if nothing happened, so be it. I mean, we're getting, I don't mean that to sound like you got no ambition and you got no desire and no goals, but, there's let's face it, you get to a certain age and you go, promoter's going to be interested in, they've got young kids coming through, they've got young bands, and here's an old bloke that's, not far off picking up his pension. I mean, are they going to give him a gig, So, you got to be realistic about it. That's what I'm trying to say. You can't. It's not like we're going to be headlining with the Killers next week. You know what I mean? You've just got to accept what is and just be happy with what you get. I think, So.
Well, I think one of the beautiful things about specifically playing rock music, I don't think there's an age limit to become a rock star. If you are sort of in the pop glamour world, you have your prime, sort of like, your early 20s or maybe mid 20s. They don't want, an old pop star. But you can play rock when you look at Gene Simmons, the Kiss, Rolling Stones, Metallica, even now, they're out there, in mid to late 50s. So look, I don't think it's never too late.
When they were younger. Yeah.
I understand that. But the thing is, you would, as an audience, you wouldn't mind seeing a guy like yourself rocking out to good songs. But if you were up there, trying to play Justin Bieber or Ed Sheeran or something, it'd be a vastly different experience.
I know, totally. But you know what, Steph? If there was one thing that I would really love that would change, and it hasn't changed in 40, 50, 60 years, there's no way it's going to change anytime soon. But if one of these commercial stations would just take a chance on an original act, a local act or something, why can't they do it? I mean, why does it, I mean, no disrespect to the bands that obviously write these hits. I love a lot of them, but, I'll be out sometimes working with my brother and he's got the radio on and it's the same, Sweet Child of Mine comes on, Akadaka, why can't someone else just one song a day, a WA act, an Australian act, something that's new but it's got that kind of rock feel. Why can't we get a shot?
But I think a lot of that again comes down to record labels again, that because they ultimately they almost dictate what goes on commercial radio stations.
Of course.
Some radio stations just make a conscious decision not to play anything with, an electric guitar or real drums or something, so it's, but that again could be another good reason for upcoming, particularly rock bands again, for us to do this. To have a good, a home ground, a home base where you can come in here, present your music, and hopefully people out there will then listen to these upcoming rock bands, because there's so many good bands that I've had the opportunity to listen to over the last couple of weeks, which I would never have heard, any of them.
I must say, I've listened to your show a few times, and there's been some great stuff. Even
it's incredible, yeah.
Ashes of Autumn, and the guy that band that you had on, was it Stillskin? I love that band.
Yep.
They're fantastic. even just in the short time the show's been running, you've had a lot of great guests on. So.
But that's what I mean. Like even like talking about Stillskin, for instance, like they actually played a live stream concert on Friday in Denmark, which, you know, literally they play to an empty crowd, but with all these full HD cameras and all these angles and stuff, because it was supposed to be a live stream concert to give people some live music. And I'm actually going to share that concert as well, so people on my page can check it out. But man, that was sensational, again, because you see them play live, which is, you know, a lot different to just either hearing a track or watching a music video. But yeah, having that, you know, for people to connect to bands that they didn't know and probably never would know about otherwise, is a privilege. And that's again why, like, your album is so good that it, like I said, it deserves to be out there. It deserves to be heard. And that's again, like I said, I would love to be an ambassador and just, you know, keep pushing and hopefully get other people to push it on as well. Because I think that's the only sort of thing that you can do. No, it's goodwill. It's you want to help.
Yeah, no, that's right, man. And I do appreciate, I mean, you've had me on this show now twice, and, you know, it's been good because, you know, we can obviously refer, once you put the videos up on YouTube, we, you know, as a band, we can look and we can go, well, I've got some content there that I can put in a press kit that maybe people will go, oh yeah, he's been interviewed, or he's, you know what I mean? So
exactly.
The chances of getting on somewhere. So
Speaking about getting interviewed, are we gonna meet the other two boys at some stage?
Well, I'd love that, man. You know, like I say, Sam's got a drum studio up there, and
oh, cool!
It's well equipped. I mean, I would love to, you know, and let the boys give their account of the recording, because they were involved in the whole process. You know, the putting down the drums, putting down the bass,
of course,
listen to all the mixes that came back from Sweden, and that was, you know, like, all three of us, we were all on Messenger. We had a little chat going, and we'd be like, what do you reckon to this one? Duncan go, mate, the bass. It's funny. We all had this one thing. It was like, there was never enough cymbals or highs in the drums, you know? And every time a mix came back, we were going like, man, when are we going to get some highs in these drums? And so like, oh, mate, can we turn the cymbals up a bit? We need a bit more thrash, you know? And then we go into the studio, say, you know what? If we're not going to hear the cymbals, we're going to get an overdub. So get your drumstick and just smash the hell out of your hi-hat, you know? So we've got some sort of going over the top. So he'd do that, and then we send it back, send another stem back. It would come back in the mix. And I got to say, though, I mean, Thomas Juth is the guy who mixed it for us over there. I think he did a sensational job of the production as well. You know, and not once did he ever complain about having to do a remix, even if we were like, can you take that guitar up just a tiny little bit, you know? You know, a lot of people would just go, oh man, are you taking a piss? You know, nah, we're not turning the guitar up. But not once, you know, and I couldn't recommend that guy more. He was just sensational, you know, for us. So it was a good experience, but I'd love to get the boys involved, and we could talk more about that.
Let's do it. Let's do it. And yeah, look, it would be great if you mentioned the drum studio. It might be a great idea to maybe do it there, get some atmosphere.
Awesome.
Hopefully he has a slightly better internet connection as well.
Oh no, I'm sorry about this. It's like, I don't know what's wrong with the internet. Like,
look, it's as I mentioned to you earlier, and to people in general who come on the show, like the audio is far more important than the picture, because ultimately this here is content that will go on the podcast channel, which I, by the way, just started today. But all the interviews here will go onto the podcast. So again, it's far more important than the audio is good. Than the actual image, unfortunately, in your case, it was just a little bit grainy. The actual footage.
Sorry about that. That's okay. Well, maybe we can get a better, because that Sam's all equipped there. You probably have a good internet, and you will have all the mics and stuff. So it should be good if you're interested. That would be great, Steph. If we're interested in.
Yeah, absolutely. Let's. It'd be cool to get some recording stories from the from behind the scenes.
Yeah.
And
I've also got some other. I mean, I don't know. I mean, obviously, you've probably started to get people contact you that want to come on the show, because obviously these things are got to build from the ground up. But I was just thinking about it today. I've got a few mates, even people I grew up with, songwriters like back in Scotland, that might be really interested in maybe contacting you and getting on the show as well.
Absolutely. Like I said, the main thing is just I want to try that again. I said I want to promote original music. So
well, they're all original as well. Yeah, it's all originals. So
perfect. And by all means,
yeah. So yeah, well, okay. I'll maybe see if they can get in touch with you and organise that. That would be great.
Absolutely.
I think there's an awesome platform for any person who writes songs or is in the music industry somehow, in that original scene. That's to get the stuff out here. This is great. So, well done. Well done. Long may it continue, mate. How long do you think you've got with the show? Are you going to keep going forever, or what's your plan? Your own plan?
We'll wait and see. I've sort of like my workplace kind of imploded last week. So as of right now, I'm not going to pursue another job. So I'm going to try and give this a shot full time for at least a couple of months.
Awesome.
And because again, it's sort of the only way for you to get traction, and it's not like I have to start it now. I've already been going for 6 weeks, so I have the momentum now, and I would just love to see where this goes. And look, if I don't try it now, I can't stop it now and wait and wait 2 or 3 months and then start it again, because you have the momentum now. So super excited to see where everything's heading.
I think it's great. I really do. Yeah, I hope it works, mate. I hope it works. Keep going. Don't give up. As you say, don't run away.
Yeah. Don't run away. Otherwise, I'll be looking back on pictures of better days. So. And I'll be yesterday's hero. So.
That's right. Oh, yeah. Okay, yeah.
And another one of the songs.
It's funny. Just I don't know how long you want to talk about it, but getting back to the last couple of songs on the album, it was that's more of an acceptance. Like these songs are more of like Yesterday's Hero. You just mentioned is more of like accepting defeat. That now. No matter what you do, boy, you are now yesterday's hero. And then Into the Great Unknown is just like, wow, there's a future. So that kind of rounds off the story, if you know what I mean. It's like it's gone from the start to the end, and who knows what's coming next. But hope I haven't left it too late.
Nah, it's one of the things, where you just again, as you said before, you just gotta keep going, keep believing. Because if you don't believe it, no one else will. You know what I mean?
That's exactly right, mate. That's exactly right.
If let's just say, if anyone out there watching has a couple of questions, maybe try and fire them away now before I do a little bit of advertising here, because I want to bring up your little Bandcamp page. I think that's actually the reason why I got the broadcasting software to crash earlier, because I changed the internet page. No idea why that happened, but I won't be doing that again. But here we go. So I've got the Bandcamp page on the screen at the moment. So if you go into 46brigade.bandcamp.com, so that would mean if you're listening to this backward on the podcast, 46brigade.bandcamp.com, you can go in and you can listen. You can actually listen to all the songs first. So this is a try before you buy kind of thing. But look, there's no way you won't like this album. So if for whatever reason you like some of the songs, you can actually buy the songs individually as well. So you can actually scroll over them here. So you can buy track. So you can click on the tracks you like if you want to buy them individually, or you can simply click buy digital album. And again, I'm trying here. I'm not trying to just say this. I practice what you preach. I bought the album when it came out, and again, I would buy it 10 times over. It's worth every penny. And the good thing about it is completely 100% COVID safe, because you can literally just click the button, download it, and boom, listen to it on your. Yeah.
No physical copy shall be touched.
That is it. It's completely germ free.
That's awesome.
Yeah, no, it's such a good album, and I really hope that we can get some more traction on it.
Thank you so much, mate. You've been a godsend, actually, just helping us promote this, and I think you actually genuinely do love the album, because you've said to me a few times.
I do, man. Yeah.
So I thank you for that, mate. That's means a lot, buddy, and hopefully we can move forward.
But it's one of those things where it actually, I think I even mentioned that to you after it came out. I said I was just gobsmacked by the quality of not just the sound, but the actual production as well. As you mentioned, Thomas Juth, the production is so high end that I cannot believe that you and the boys, that you've put this together on like low budget. I suppose it's fair enough to say, you recorded it at home and at Sam's studio without any, massive production and stuff, and it sounds like a high-end album, which is sensational.
Yeah. Oh, thanks, man. There was a lot of hours behind the scenes, just making sure that all the tracks we sent over were something that was good enough quality for him to work with. We paid a lot of attention to not sending, stuff that was not of the good quality to him, because then, he would have a hard job trying to make it sound like something professional.
Yeah.
So a lot of time, I've got to say, I spent hours and hours just sitting, trying to make things work. And then obviously with Sam with his drums, and when Duncan recorded the bass up at Sam's, it was DI'd properly through the nice preamps and stuff. So yeah, there's a lot of work, but I'm so happy
it's paid off.
Yeah.
It's paid off for sure. Again, sounds amazing. Craig, let's try and round it off here, and definitely let's try and get the boys in, maybe in a couple of weeks or something like that.
That'd be awesome.
And have another chat. Get some content going, and hopefully we can start pushing that and get some more people across. Let's have a look. We just got got a couple of people here. Now you're just getting some encouraging comments here. So you just gotta keep going. So people agree here.
Keep going. Yeah, that's good.
So Craig, I've got a little outro song here. Roll on Mondays, which I think is going to be well, you've actually already introduced the song, but if sort of just rounding off here, have you got any famous last words?
Famous last words? Well, nothing really, but I just, I guess if I could end it any other way, this song means the world to me. So, I think it's a perfect finish if you play this one. It's like, it takes a little while to get into it, but once it starts to kick in, it's probably my favorite on the album. So thanks for playing it, mate.
Excellent. And people, go and buy the album. Bandcamp, 46brigade.bandcamp.com. Craig Ballantyne, ladies and gentlemen, here is Roll On Mondays. Thanks so much for tuning in or listening along to the show. If you like the show, please don't forget to leave a 5-star review and subscribe to my social channels. It doesn't cost you anything, but it greatly helps me to build my networks and my chances of getting sponsors to keep this show running. If you want to take it to the next level, please head over to patreon.com/Stephen Helhammer and become a patron by joining the exclusive community there. You can start from as little as $3 per month. And for just a little extra, you get access to some fantastic features, outtakes, behind the scenes stuff, and much, much more. That's less than the cost of a cup of coffee per month. And that way you can help me build better content. I can devote more time to find awesome guests and just generally just keep everything flowing.
If you want to be on the show or subscribe to my mailing list, send an email to steven@helhammer.com, and that is HEL-hammer.com. That way I can start sending you exclusive invites, random stuff, and messages that, who knows, you might enjoy. So that's it. Have a rocking day ahead, guys, and I will see you on the live stream or in your headphones very soon. Take it easy.